There are lots of questions in education today. How can we best educate students? What should we even be educating them in? What are the best ways to go about doing everything? Well, there's no clear-cut answer to these questions, and there are lots of ideas about how to do it. I, for one, take a more student-centered approach, choosing to take things we can learn from psychology and apply them in the various concepts about what makes people tick, what helps motivate them, what do they care about, and using that as a strong foundation for how we can better teach children. Take a look at Maslow's hierarchy of needs. It starts pretty simple. Physiological needs need to be met first. If you're not eating, you're not going to focus on much else. You want food now. After that comes safety. You can be hurt today. Is something going to harm you? Or are you all right? After that, love and belonging. After that, esteem. And finally, self-actualization, which is essentially the process of fully realizing oneself, being able to create something new, to be able to offer something to the world. And that offering something to the world is something that's a big question for children, especially in adolescence. If we take a look at Erik Erikson's stage of development, industry versus inferiority, which is around adolescence, industry is that. Can you offer something to the world? What is it you can bring to the table that you feel confident in? And on the other side, if you don't think there's something you can bring, feelings of inferiority start to cloud up everything. And if you don't feel like you're worth anything, why would you even bother trying to learn? The next biggest part, after, if you can foster a sense of there's something you can bring to the table, the next stage is identity versus role confusion. So you know what you can bring to the table. That's good. But what else is there to you? Who are you? What exactly can you all bring? You might have found something. But is who you are as a person valuable to the world? And that's something I want to foster, especially with why I subscribe to chunks and pieces of progressivism, notably with John Dewey and his ideas about learning by doing, about when you do something, you'll learn it that much more, and perhaps find a piece of your identity in that. And then with Maxine Greene, who uses art to help you find meaning in everything. And that meaning is a huge part of identity. But it also raises another question. What exactly is that meaning? What exactly is that identity? It's not the same for everybody, that's for sure. Identity means something different to everyone. Everyone has differences, from gender to ethnicity to all sorts of different interests. People are different, which is why I raise the question of why do we think that we can just shove all students into the same system and think that that works? One system doesn't fit all. Different students learn in different ways. You have to sit down with them and find out what exactly helps them learn. Gardner's theory of multiple intelligences focuses directly on this, saying that there are different things that help different students learn. Some think more analytically, some think more with pictures, some with music, and that needs to be applied. If we're really honest about our differences, and we understand that we can't just put everything down the same narrow road and expect it all to work out just fine, I think that's a huge step in the right direction if we know that and we understand it. Because if we really sit down with a student, learn what helps them learn, and we're sincere in wanting to help them, well, they'll be that much more likely to be able to learn anything they might need and better prepared to go out into the world, to do good things, to change it for the better. Because isn't that what we really want? For the world to be a better place? And for people to feel confident in themselves and to not live with inferiority and confusion about who they are? Well, as educators, we have that job, that responsibility, that privilege to help them through that. to show them that they matter, to help them find their own place. And that's really what it's all about. But you can't just take that. You can't just take everything and say, this will work for all time. I can't just take the things I know and have learned and believe and say, yes, this approach will always work. I will never do anything differently. Because things change. We learn new things all the time. Which is why, especially considering I want to take a more psychological approach, new research in psych comes out all the time. New studies are made, new findings are found, and we learn different things about what exactly motivates people. And taking those new findings and really using them is a very key factor. Just to sum it all up, focusing on the student, learning about them, and exactly what motivates them, and guiding them towards a future that they believe in, well, I think that's the ultimate goal.